everybody, I am back and we are ready for recipe 2 for our New Year's Eve treats. If you guys decide to have anybody over for New Year's Eve, these are just recipes I've never done before, but they looked delicious and really fun to make for a group of people and super easy. What I like about this recipe that we're doing right now is that it's gluten-free. So I am going to share this on my personal Facebook page. Hello, hello. How is everybody? Just got home and got myself organized for the most part, I think. And we will get started on this recipe. I am just going to share this video on my personal Facebook page. If you guys want to share this on your personal Facebook pages as well, I would appreciate it. I just recommend that you don't do a watch party, because if you do a watch party, then if anybody comments inside of the watch party, I can't comment back to them. I can't see what they say, which is kind of a bummer if they have any questions or want to say anything to me directly. So just share to your personal Facebook page, not a watch party. And then if you want to share inside of groups, just make sure you share to groups that you know and you trust. Mommy groups, baking groups, recipe groups, things like that. Just don't share it to like my live video here or promote your business here. We unfortunately get trolls and some icky people if you share there. I know probably some of you found me on pages like that, and I do appreciate it. Unfortunately, I just really don't want to deal with those types of people, nor am I equipped to deal with them, because I am new at this. I don't know what to say, what to do, and I just have to stop what I'm doing and block them, which isn't any fun. Hello, Sherry. Hi, Heather. I'm having a good day, Bill. I hope you are too. Hi, Dad. No worries, typos happen. Hello, Franny. So we are going to be making something I've never made before. These Caprese Chicken Skewers with a Balsamic Glaze. Never done it before, but like I said, it is gluten-free. There is no gluten in this recipe. So if you are having guests over that you know are gluten-free, this is a good recipe for them. It's not anything... We're not having to, substitute gluten-free products or anything like that. There is no gluten in the chicken or the cheese or the tomatoes. Nothing on this has any gluten in it. So it is a winning recipe if you have guests that maybe have a little more strict of the diet. Hello, Harmony. So this is what we're going to be doing today. Caprese Chicken Skewers with Balsamic Glaze. I need to tighten this up a little bit. Try not to tie my hair into it. Might be harder than one would think. Okay, now it's too tight, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. And now I have something in my eyeball. We're a mess. Hello, hello. Hello, happy Monday to everybody. I hope you guys had an awesome holiday, and I hope you guys are ready for the new year. I am. My dad gave me some recommendations for how to start the new year on my show. To maybe pick recipes that were low fat and low carb for anybody who's trying to go into the new year eating healthier. I did explain to him that it's just not me. I don't eat like that. Also, I have to, whatever I cook, I have to try and feed to my family. But I will try my best to pick things that aren't super fatty, aren't super crazy. I will try to work in more Weight Watchers stuff, more gluten-free stuff, more... maybe low carb things. And then my dad has some neat recipes that he's tweaked a little bit dessert wise to use like low fat pudding mixes and things like that that make him a little more low cal. So I will try and do my best to help with that if that is what you guys think you may need for the new year. Yes, Mary Jo, I'm glad you guys caught me. Hello, hello. If you guys saw me this morning, we are going to be doing another recipe tonight for dinner. We're going to be doing this one right now. We're going to do the giveaway after tonight's recipe. So hold out for that. I'll be on around 5 to 6 to make dinner with you guys. We're making sliders in the oven. They're going to be super delicious. And then when I put them in the oven, we will do our giveaway. So hang out for that. And we will get started on this. Like I said, it's gluten-free. So if you have a gluten intolerance, this is definitely the meal for you. We will get set up. We are going to start with our glaze. So to make our balsamic glaze, we're going to make it and then we're just going to set it aside to serve with later. So we're going to add our balsamic vinegar. I just went with a balsamic vinegar I found at the grocery store. Nothing fancy, nothing specific. I don't think I've ever bought balsamic vinegar before, so I don't have a brand that I per se pick every time. So this is going to be new, if I can get this bottle open. On my video earlier today, I'm going to try my best to start being really diligent with posting links for products on Amazon so that if I am using a tool or a product that, sorry guys, a product or a tool that is really helpful for the recipe, I will do my best to go on Amazon and find the link for you guys. The reason being is that's your guys' way of being able to support me with my dream and my goal is I don't make any money doing this. So to keep my dream alive and to keep it going, I have paired up with Amazon. And so anytime I post a link for a product, it is specific for my Mom Fueling Hungry Boys page. And I will get a percentage back of anything that you guys buy. So if you want to help support my dream, that is some little way that you guys can help me. And I would really appreciate it, but no pressure. I will find a way to keep doing this no matter what. Yes, I'm going to try my best, you guys, to help you guys with healthier recipes for the new year. I know that we have had some pretty fat, heavy dessert recipes over this last 2 months from my grandma's recipe book, but I will try to be better at the start of the new year, okay? So we need just half a cup of balsamic vinegar. It definitely has a strong smell. What I always try to do when it comes to liquid measuring, you can lift the measuring cup up to see if it's equal, but I find that you either tilt the measuring cup, left, right, up, and down. So I try to just get even with the measuring cup to make sure that my measurements are on and more specific. Another thing that I try to bring up to you guys, it might sound silly, it might sound dumb, but I didn't know about this until like 4 years ago. There are a difference between a liquid measuring cup and a solid measuring cup. So please, please, please be aware. So when you are measuring out your balsamic vinegar, you want to use your liquid measuring cup. And when you come to measure out any kind of solids, seasonings, flour, sugar, you want to use your solid measuring cups because they are different. They give you a different amount based on the fact that you're measuring a liquid or a solid. So that is something important. If you're finding your recipes aren't turning out the way you want them to, that could be the first step of why they aren't turning out. Yes, you guys. So this half a cup of the vinegar, and we're just going to bring it to a boil, and then we're going to reduce to a simmer until it starts to thicken. The recipe does say that you need to stir it the entire time, 5 to 7 minutes, and that you're just looking for it to turn more syrupy and to coat the back of a spoon. Once it has thickened, you're just going to pull it off and pour it into a serving dish. So I'm going to get this over on the stove, and we're going to slowly start heating it. And once it starts to boil, I will keep a better eye on it, and we will be over there stirring it. Brooke, we are going to be using this cheese ball. This is going to be in our recipe today. They're little tiny mozzarella balls. They call them pearls, and we're going to be using that in this recipe right now. So I'm going to grab a cutting board, and we are going to get started. I have quite the disaster of dishes stacked up from last night and today. I have just been so lazy. I feel like I've been doing dishes since the holidays started, so I have kind of slacked off. For this recipe, we need about 14 ounces of chicken. So I have 32 ounces here, which is 4 chicken breasts of the JustBARE brand. It does say this specific brand in the recipe. So this lady that made this recipe recommends the JustBARE natural boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You tried to make potato candy, but it didn't turn out. Harmony, were you using a thermometer? I've never heard of potato candy, But I do recommend if you are making any kind of treat that requires boiling on the stove, a thermometer is really, really important. You just really can't guess the temperature of something by looking at it unless you've done it for years and years. So I'm just peeking over at our balsamic over there to make sure that it doesn't get away from us. So we need about 14 ounces of chicken, which in this specific round is about 2 chicken breasts. And we want them to be cut into 1-inch cubes. You just want nice cubes to be able to stick them, once you cook them, onto your skewer. So if you want maybe bigger chicken for your skewers, if you want smaller bites, that's up to you how you want to serve them. I'm gonna do a couple of them and then I will show you about how big I'm going to make mine. Remember that when you cook a protein, it does shrink. So when you are cutting, just keep that in mind, that this chicken will shrink up a little bit as you cook it. We are dealing with raw chicken. Please keep your station as neat and sanitary as possible, because anywhere that raw chicken cut touches, you need to make sure that you do antibacterial or spray of some kind because of the diseases that raw chicken carries from time to time. We don't need any salmonella. During the new year, we have managed to avoid any kind of flu so far, so I don't want to make us sick with this chicken. You meant the caramel apple with M&M's? Yes, you guys, so I did make a yummy apple caramel treat that we will coat in M&M's here in a little bit. We'll get these skewers done, and then I will pull that treat out of the fridge and we will coat it in M&M's, and then we will let my kiddos try it and see if it passes the test. Kingston is having fun in the living room. I put on a movie for him, but he must not like it with how much noise is coming out of the living room. So our balsamic is getting close to a boil, so I'm going to finish dicing this chicken really fast, wash my hands, and then we are gonna go babysit this vinegar until it starts to thicken. Yeah, food poisoning is bad all the time, Sherry, but I could not imagine giving food poisoning to all my family members during the holiday season. They would never forgive me. I did one time, my mom came to visit, and the boys and I had just had some sort of stomach bug, and she came and she cleaned my house from top to bottom, and it's super awesome, but she got sick the next day with the same thing we did. Obviously, going around cleaning from top to bottom did not stop the bug from catching her and getting her sick that one time. She'll never forgive me for it. So this recipe does say that you need to keep stirring this vinegar when it starts to boil and go to a simmer, because it will burn, and we don't want that. It is a very, very strong vinegar smell. I will warn you guys, it is really, really strong. So we just want this to thicken so that when people can either dip their skewers in it, or in the recipe online it shows it just kind of drizzled over the top of it. We'll see how well that actually goes. Whew. Let's turn it down a little bit now because we just want it at a simmer. So once it gets up to a boil, you guys, you can turn the temperature down, and then it will continue to boil at a slow simmer. You just want a really, really light simmer. I am going to set my timer. I have an awful gauge of time. So I do set timers even if it's just for a couple of minutes, because I can get distracted and either forget how long I've been going or not go long enough. So we're going to do this. This is 5 to 7 minutes. Hello, Latoya. Hello, Sue. So we did a recipe earlier today, you guys, and it had cream cheese, low-fat Greek yogurt, caramel bits, apple bits, and vanilla, and we mixed it all together and created a ball, and I wrapped it in saran wrap and I stuck it in the fridge. So it's in there waiting for me. And what we are going to do, we are going to take it out and it just recommends to lay the M&Ms in a dish and roll the ball in the M&Ms until the whole outside is coated. Like I told Kingston, you're screaming a little too loud, sweetie. Thank you. He's getting excited over there. So I didn't find the fall M&Ms that the recipe called for, so I'm just going to use basic M&Ms. Like I told you guys, some of you earlier, if you go to the store and you can find some cool silver M&Ms or gold M&Ms or maybe even off-brand chocolate candies that come in those cool colors, I would think it would be super, super cool if you could coat it like that, and then it would look like the New Year's Eve ball that they drop in New York on New Year's Eve. I think it would be kind of cute to replicate that for a New Year's Eve party. No, Sherry. Apple cider vinegar won't come to a glaze like this will. Also, a caprese salad always comes with balsamic vinegar, so it wouldn't really be the same if you changed it. If you don't want the glaze, that's fine too. I think it would be a very refreshing chicken, tomato, mozzarella cheese, and basil. You don't need the glaze, and I think that's part of the reason why the lady who made this recipe just says to put the glaze in just a serving dish so that people can pick and choose if they want it. So Sherry, if you don't like it or you don't think you'll like it, it's not a do or die on this recipe. I wouldn't think you would need to exchange anything. As long as your chicken is still juicy, your tomato is fresh, and your cheese is there, I don't think you'll need a glaze at all. I probably won't use it. My kids probably won't. So I would say if you don't like it, there is definitely a way around it. The sun-dried tomato chicken was a hit with my family, and the twice baked potato casserole. Sharon, I'm so excited. I am glad your family liked it. That tomato dish was so good. Did you serve it with pasta like I did, or did you guys just eat it as is? Yes, Roxy, good point. Walmart has solid different color M&Ms, so if you want to do a certain color of M&Ms for that dish I made earlier, you definitely can, and I would recommend if you have some sort of theme going on to do that. I just have basic M&Ms. I didn't have the fall colored at my grocery store. I didn't want to go out of my way. I'm not serving it to a party. I'm just doing it for you guys, and I know you guys won't judge me for basic colored M&Ms. The twice baked potato, yes. Making a mess?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
He's making a mess and it's so gooey.
Making a mess with what? Hold on, guys. Don't let this burn.
His food is so gooey. Because he made a mess.
Okay, we'll tell him to pick it up, please. Sorry, guys. Okay, that's enough. Thank you. My 2-year-old is making a mess with his lunch, I guess, and it's stinky, which I'm not really sure how it could be, but it's just my 4-year-old wanting to complain. I love that twice baked potato casserole now. I've made it, I've probably made it 2 times now since I shared it with you guys. When I made it for Kingston. Okay, buddy, just watch your movie. Okay. I think you might be smelling the vinegar Mama's cooking.
No, it's not Grace's food.
Okay. So, what was I saying? Sorry, guys. My kiddos sometimes really distract me. For Christmas Eve dinner, I did just do half with bacon and half without because I had a couple of guests for Christmas Eve that didn't like bacon, and it still was really, really good, you guys. They still loved it. I would definitely warn you while you are cooking this vinegar, don't take any deep breaths in. It's like knocked the wind out of me a couple of times. It is a very, very strong vinegar smell, especially while you are simmering it. I just don't feel like it's getting thicker. I don't want to burn it. I did turn the heat up on it because it wasn't simmering anymore. Because we only have about 2 minutes left, and it needs to coat the back of the spoon, it says. So I'm going to grab just a metal spoon. I'm going to kind of tilt it. And it kind of coats it. I don't think it's as syrupy as it needs to be. The picture that it showed on the recipe that I pulled it off of looks more, I mean, even thicker than like a pancake syrup, I would say is what we're aiming for. I do not, Tia. I don't cook with an Instapot. I do have an air fryer, and Mary Jo, anything that you would put in the oven typically or the microwave can go in your air fryer. I don't do any fancy air fryer recipes. I don't make my own fries. I don't air fry things like that. But anything that I would put in my oven that can fit in my air fryer or my microwave or even my grill. So I do pork chops in my air fryer, chicken breasts in my air fryer. Any food ever that my family brings home as leftovers, we put in the air fryer to reheat. Burgers, you name it, I put it in my air fryer to reheat it. I don't ever really use my microwave except for to like soften and melt butter and cream cheese and stuff. I love my air fryer. I swear by it. So if you have something specific you want to cook and need some guidance with your air fryer, honestly, Mary Jo, it's not super specific. When it comes to reheating stuff, just do a low and slow technique, like 200 to 250. And what I love about an air fryer, you don't have to preheat it. So if at some point you need to cook it hotter, faster, you can turn it up right then and there and it will reach the temperature and you can do what you need to. What I really like about it says low connection, which reminds me that I'm not hooked to my Wi-Fi. So with exact science, and it's not perfect, but it is my go-to for anything that I am cooking. Anything that comes frozen, I would put in my air fryer. Fries that come frozen, pizza rolls, chicken nuggets, corn dogs, anything that I make for my kids on the fly, all go in the air fryer. They cook. For that kind of stuff, look at the directions on the back of the container or the back of the package. Kingston, you need to stop.
I don't want to get in.
Okay, I will let you if you calm down. Take a couple breaths. When it comes to pre-packaged things, look on the back of the wrapper or the packaging, and if it says 400 or 450, cook it at 400 at your air fryer. But if it says 18 to 20 minutes, it will really only take about 10 to 12. So what I love about it, take it out, toss it halfway through the amount of time, and if you get to the 12 minutes and it doesn't look done, just pop it back in and cook it for a couple of more minutes on the same temperature. Yes, Harmony, I love it. I swear by my air fryers. I cook, pork chops are my favorite, and I cook those. I get really thick pork chops, bone out pork chops. I season them. I put my air fryer at 380 to 400, and it only takes 12 minutes. You flip it halfway through, and they are the juiciest, tender pork chops you have ever had. I just can't walk away from this, but I'll let you out in just a second, Kingston. I just got my grandma an air fryer. It's going to be delivered tomorrow. So any recipes that I send her way, you guys, I can definitely do with you. I've done my pork chops in my air fryer on one of my lives before. I can't remember which one it was, but I'm going to call it quits on that vinegar, you guys. It has like lost all of its it was like half a cup when I started, and I want to say like it's a quarter a cup in size now. I'm going to go get my son because he's losing his mind. Is he pooping or like what? It's sticky. I swear it's the vinegar I'm cooking. You're just going to be more mad walking into here. I think my son doesn't like the smell of the vinegar, and he thinks it's his brother.
Obviously, it smells every other.
Didn't even know about leftovers, making frozen shrimp at Costco. Yes, you guys, anything in your air fryer is amazing. Yes. They have really good deals on air fryers on Amazon. Do not pay over $80 for an air fryer. You heard it from me first. Do not spend over $80 on an air fryer. I have the quantity of mine, I think, is a 5.8 quart. Okay? Don't get anything smaller than that unless you only ever cook for yourself. Then you can get something smaller than that. But my 5.8 quart, which is that in the corner, fits like 3 pork chops, 3 chicken breasts, things like that. It's amazing, you guys. Air fryers are awesome. You can cook all sorts of stuff in it. If you ever need any help, just send me a message and I can help you out. I would be more than happy if you need some guidance with cooking anything in your air fryer. All right. So our balsamic vinegar glaze, I think is done. We're guessing. I don't know. We'll see what the glaze looks like after it's cooled down a little bit. It says set it in a container and set it off to the side. So we will do that. So in a small bowl, we're going to add our chicken cubes, our garlic powder, our basil, our pepper, and our salt. That is what we are going to do. I don't want to touch the chicken with my hands again and then touch all of my seasoning salts and stuff like that. So this is about 14 ounces of chicken, you guys. I think they have, she says about 28 skewers is what this will make. So if you need to double the recipe or whatever you need to do for more guests, that's about what this recipe makes, is about 28 servings of chicken. Yes, about $50 for an air fryer is good. I think the one I bought for my grandma was like $70. Again, it's a 5.8 quart big air fryer for my family. So don't spend anything over that, you guys. If you're spending over than that, you are spending too much money on it and it's not worth it. It is worth it. I mean, I'd pay a lot of money for mine, but you don't have to pay a lot of money to get a good air fryer. So we need a teaspoon of garlic powder. I cannot get anything open today to save my life. There we go. And then it's not going to fit in there. All right. Teaspoon of garlic powder. Half a teaspoon of dry basil leaves. I contemplated leaving these out because we are doing a full leaf of dry basil with them, but I don't think it'll hurt. Just half a teaspoon. My air fryer, I believe, is a Go Wise. Yep. So it's GOWISE USA. Go Wise USA. If you Amazon it right now, you guys, it's got a deal. So Go Wise USA 5.8 quart air fryer, I think, is on sale right now for like 70 some bucks, I want to say. So check it out. I'll put a link in the comment section. If you don't feel like Googling it yourself, I can totally handle that for you guys. We need 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. A 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. I'm just going to do a couple of turns on my sea salt grinder. You guys know me, I don't like adding a lot of extra salt to things, so just a little bit. And then we are going to toss this around until our chicken is well coated. Yes, Sherry, it is a good brand, you guys. The Go Wise USA is a really good brand. It's the one I just bought my grandma. It's the one I got myself. Reasonably priced right now on Amazon. I got mine during a sale as well. Never paid full price for any air fryer I've ever bought, and I probably bought 5 air fryers, not because they broke, but because I went from like a 2.5 quart one, and I worked my way up into a bigger one, so I gave away my other ones. So my friend Breeze got one of my smaller ones. And my husband has 2 out at work. He loves it out. He works out in the oil field, and they can't have an oven. Microwaves short out their systems, so he just keeps his little air fryer, and they do frozen pizzas in it, garlic bread. They reheat all of their sandwiches and stuff in it. They absolutely love it out in the oil field. Love, love, love it. I'm hoping these are going to be really good, you guys. I'm bouncing all over the place. I'm sorry. I am like talking about a million things at once. I just feel like we haven't seen each other in a couple of days, and this morning wasn't long enough to hang out with you guys, and like we've got more to talk about. So we have all of our stuff seasoned and coated in there. That's what you want it to look like. So we're going to heat a large skillet to medium-high heat, and we're going to cook this with grape seed oil. I've never used grapeseed oil to cook before or anything, so we're going to give it a go. Grapeseed oil. Just like that. Fancy, fancy, you guys. Grapeseed oil is what we are cooking with. So I'm going to move you guys back over here. We're going to move our skillet onto here. And we I'm gonna move some of my stuff over. We need about a tablespoon of grapeseed oil. Earlier today, I did put the link for the little skewers you guys could get on Amazon to make these look super cute and fancy. I didn't buy any. I am just going to use regular like kebab skewers, and I'm just going to cut them in half and do it like that. They're not going to look fancy, but I don't think my kids will mind. I think they'll forgive me that they don't look fancy. But you never know with my youngest. He prefers fancy stuff. But I'm just heating this over medium-high heat, and we're just going to cook the chicken 3 to 4 minutes aside. Yeah, I usually use olive oil. I've never used grapeseed oil before, but I'm sure it'll be just fine. So I'm just going to take these skewers, you guys, and I'm just going to cut them in half and use them like that. But like I said, I'll put another link in the comment section of this video too, but I did it earlier today of ones on Amazon. Super cheap, super cute little ones that are just like this recipe. They've got like a little tie at the top, little cocktail skewers are basically what they are. Anything else that you guys see me use today and you guys would like the link on Amazon, just let me know and I will be more than happy to link it for you guys. Anything to make our lives easier. I love little tools of the kitchen that make life easier. Skewers from Party City for cheap. Yep, Party City, Walmart, Target, I know they all have them. I was just lazy and they didn't have them at the grocery store, so I just didn't get them. One of my kids does. My 4-year-old loves tomatoes, and my 2-year-old does not. He tries them all the time, and the seeds pop out, and he spits out the tomato, and then my 4-year-old picks it up and eats it. So I will probably make a couple different variations of these skewers for my kiddos. Some with extra tomatoes, some with no tomatoes but extra cheese, because my 2-year-old loves cheese. So I think we will be good to go. As long as they eat the chicken, you guys, I don't even really care if they eat anything else. I'll probably make a couple without basil leaves because I'm not a huge fan of basil. And I don't think my 2-year-old will eat it, but my 4-year-old likes salad and lettuce and stuff, so I'm sure he'll eat the basil just fine. So you're supposed to use a large skillet, but my large skillet is in use right now. I was making Indian fry bread last night, and my oil is in it, and I have not found a home to put my oil so that it doesn't go down my sink. So right now it's just kind of sitting in that pan unused. So not all my chicken fits in there, but I can do a couple of rounds. I'm just going to back her away because it is kind of splattery. A lot of kids won't eat tomatoes. I never ate tomatoes as a kid. I won't eat a raw tomato as an adult. I like tomatoes in salsa, ketchup, marinara sauce. My family makes dips with raw tomatoes and I can eat all of that, but I won't just eat a tomato. It just has zero appeal to me whatsoever. So we're just going to let this cook, you guys. I did not do a video for Indian fry bread because I just learned it. Yes, Grayson. I just learned it. My friend came over the other day, mixed up the dough for me, and let it rise, and then she went home, and then I FaceTimed her when it was time to fry it up. So I'm still working on it. I'm trying to perfect it, and then when I get it right, I will ask permission from my friend to share her family's fry bread recipe, and if she gives me the okay for the dough, I will definitely share it with you. It's so good. If you don't know what Indian fry bread is, you are missing out. Sometimes they call them elephant ears, Indian tacos, fry bread. They're so good. Your cousin won't eat tomatoes, but will have a paste sauce, I'm assuming is what you meant. Toasted tomato sandwich in the summer. They always sound so refreshing, and like BLTs, like I love bacon and bread and put it on a sandwich, but just leave the tomato off of it. So we're just going to turn these over, you guys. You just want to cook them until they're no longer pink in the middle. So we're just going to turn our chicken over. You can kind of tell which ones need to be flipped and which ones don't as they start to get white on the other side. make sure that your kids are not in the kitchen while you're cooking this kind of stuff because it does splatter, and that is right at their height, and I don't want you to splatter your kids in the face. Notice I do have my apron on today because I don't want splatter on my clothes. But these are getting cooked up nice, you guys. They're getting a nice golden brown on them. So I'm turning my heat down from high to a little bit below medium, because once that pan gets up to temperature, it doesn't take as much to keep it at that temperature. And you don't want golden brown on one side and black on the other. But if you guys do notice, like I told you, they are shrinking in size. So there is more room in my pan now than when I started. So always keep that in mind when you are cutting up or dicing up your chicken for these skewers. Keep factoring in that they will shrink up. So if you want bigger bites of chicken for your guests, then to cut them a little bit bigger so that when they shrink up, they you don't lose your chicken into little tiny pieces. So I don't know about my balsamic glaze, you guys. It doesn't look like it really changed in consistency at all, and I cooked it for a while. Fry bread is so good, you guys. I'm telling you, if you don't know what it is, you're missing out, and I will share it with you soon. You can cook it and make Indian tacos, so it's fry bread and ground beef and lettuce and tomatoes and sour cream and salsa, and it's amazing. Or you can do it dessert style, and you can do butter and honey and cinnamon and sugar, and it's so good. And now that I've learned to make it, I've made them 2 nights in a row, and I texted my friend and told her when I weigh 500 pounds that it's her fault. So I'm going to take one of my bigger pieces of chicken, and I'm going to cut it in half to make sure that it's cooked all the way through before I pull my chicken off. So I just used my kitchen scissors and cut it in half. Woo! She's hot, you guys. Be careful. So we're going to take a look, see if it's cooked all the way through. It is. It's cooked all the way through and juicy and yummy. Oh, it looks a little pink on the camera. Interesting. It definitely doesn't look pink in my hand, but I'm going to throw it back on just because it looks that way. It's so good, you guys. Fry bread, it's exactly what it is. So you take like a bread dough and you fry it on your stove, and it poofs up and it gets like, it kind of is like a donut. If donut and a piece of bread had a baby, it's fry bread, and it is so good. I will post a picture in the comment section of this video so that you guys can see what fry bread looks like as a dessert, because I've just been doing butter and cinnamon and sugar. I learned it so that I could make it for my mother-in-law when she came to visit, but the weather has been so crazy along the Midwest that she couldn't make it to her flight in Minnesota. So my husband went to drive her to the airport in Minnesota, and the roads were so icy, she couldn't make it to the airport, and the plane took off without her. So I'm sad we didn't get to see her this weekend, and I was going to make some fry bread for her, but I'll make it for her another time. So I'm going to cook up the last little bit of this chicken, and then we will get to make our skewers. This is all you have to do for these skewers, is cook up your chicken. Everything else is raw and in its natural form. Like I said, this is gluten-free, so if you are gluten-free, this is a good recipe for you. First-time viewer, Nana, welcome. Welcome, welcome. So many things you can do with fry bread. Yes, that is the most popular place that you will have it, is at state fairs and county fairs and stuff like that. They make fry bread tacos and stuff like that. So remember, you guys, 4 to 5 minutes. Well, it says 3 to 4. Probably 3 to 4 minutes cooking your chicken. I did turn my heat back up a little bit. It was on high when we started. I dropped it back down a little bit below medium. And then we're going to cook up the rest of this chicken. This looks so good, you guys. So good. So once our chicken is all cooked up, we are going to let our chicken rest for a little bit. Then we're going to take our skewer. We're going to add a cherry tomato, a leaf of basil, mozzarella ball, and a cube of chicken. And we're going to repeat until all of our skewers have been used up. chicken is nice golden brown. I better start inviting some friends over to eat up these because I made so many and my kids and I will not be able to eat them all. My husband is trying to make his way back home from the Vikings game, but like I said, the weather is so crazy along the Midwest, so he might not make it tonight. So my dad gave me these kitchen scissors, and they fall apart anytime I pick them up. They drive me insane. He just gave them to me from my grandpa's house because they go with the set of knives I got from my grandpa's house a couple years ago. But these are like the most dangerous pair of kitchen scissors ever. So I'm gonna gonna use different ones. Sharing, this smells so good. You can't go wrong with chicken and tomatoes and cheese. And like I said, if you have more picky eaters, there's no problem leaving out one or two of the ingredients. We're gonna see if any of my scissors will cut these. So if you want to leave the basil leaf out, the basil is already on the chicken. So you get the basil flavor with that. If you have people that don't like tomatoes and just do chicken and cheese and basil, still be really good, you guys. I don't think anybody would object to some fresh mozzarella and some grilled chicken. I'm just cutting these in half the most elegant way I can. Just waiting for one of them to come ricochet back in my face. But like I said, I don't have any fancy skewers, so I'm making my own with some kebab skewers. Alright. We should be good to go with the rest of this chicken. So, turn your burner off, set your pan off to the side. I do warn you, if you have any kind of pans that are non-stick, if you have just been cooking with it and it is hot still, you need to let your non-stick pans completely cool before you try and clean them. If you don't, you will lose your non-stick. It will start to wear off that coating and wash it off, and you will no longer have non-stick pans. So if you experience that, there is no fixing it. You just have to get new pans. I hear somebody calling me, and I just spilled balsamic vinegar on my counter. All right, you guys. Clean that up, and then we will get to making these skewers. Super easy. All you have to do is cook this chicken up, you guys. I would say if you want to make them ahead of time, I don't see any problem with that at all. Make it ahead of time. You can use your cold chicken because caprese salads are nice and cold. Fresh tomatoes, fresh mozzarella. I would say colder chicken would be good. Yep. Ooh, good job, buddy.
A house.
You did a good job building a house. For real, that explains a lot. Yes, if you don't take care of your pans, you guys, it definitely damages them. I learned that the hard way. When I got my new pans that I love so much, I read through the instruction manual thinking that it was silly to think that I didn't know something about my pans, but I didn't. My way I, grew up with my mom, it was a hot pan, and you brought it over to the sink and you poured soap on it, and the soap bubbled up because it was so hot, and you washed the pan off. Well, really, you're damaging your pans. So, you learn something every day. All right, so we're gonna take our skewer. So it goes tomato, basil, mozzarella, chicken. I'm going to take my tomatoes and I'm going to rinse them really fast. These are just the cherry tomatoes that I chose. Any kind that you prefer as far as tomatoes go should work. These are my son's favorite ones. So that's what I went with, the familiar. Just rinse them off a little bit. When it comes to cherry tomatoes, they don't like the refrigerator, and some of them even say that on the top. Please don't refrigerate me, it's too cold in there. So if you want your cherry tomatoes to last longer, just keep them out on your counter. Yeah, I'm glad you learned from me, Jennifer. Yep, Sharon, you're supposed to let them cool. I never knew it, but you know now to let them cool completely down and then rinse them with warm soapy water, mild detergent, nothing rough or abrasive, of course. You will also find that they clean a lot easier that way. If you let them cool, things come off way easier. All right, so we do tomato, basil leaf, mozzarella, chicken. These are just the little mozzarella pearls, you guys, just little mozzarella balls. And my fresh basil leaves. Peppery, sweet, and savory. I'm not really sure what that means, but they are fresh basil leaves. I tried to find just sweet basil leaves, but no such luck. These are big guys. These are big suckers, but so we'll do a couple with those and a couple without because I don't think my 2-year-old will like them. So we do tomato. And you guys know what we're going to do after I do a couple of these skewers? We are going to put M&Ms on our cream cheese roll and try that out. So tomato, basil, mozzarella, little matzo ball. I'm going to do 2 mozzarella balls because these are just little guys. And I'm going to do big ones. So there. So I did 2 on this one. And then just a little piece of chicken. Just like that. And I'm just going to set it on my serving plate and hope that it stands up straight. That's the trick, you guys. Getting it to stand up. Probably won't. So we'll just lay it on its side. So we're going to do a couple of these so you guys can kind of see the different variations that you can do. So do a tomato. Do no basil leaf, just in case you have someone in your family that doesn't want a basil leaf. Do a couple of mozzarella balls. And then a piece of chicken. Don't feel dumb, 43, and I've been doing it wrong all these years. And and it may be different, for different brands, but as far as the non-stick these days, yeah, those are the rules, I guess. That's awesome, Sherry. Having your own basil plants, that is cool. I have my friend Emily, she has her own like basil and mint and things like that she grows at her house. It's super yummy. So we're going to do a couple without tomatoes on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 little mozzie balls, 1 with a basil leaf. I just want a little leaf. These leaves are so big. Hi, buddy.
I want to help you.
Okay, what do you want to help with? And then we'll do a little piece of chicken. Still looks good and fresh, even without the tomatoes, you guys, without the basil. And then the complete package.
Mama, I want to help you with all of your stuff that you're going to make.
Okay, buddy. Do you want to help me put tomatoes on these?
And everything.
Can you put the tomato on?
I want to put everything on it.
You want to help? Okay, I'll get you your own. So you got to put, we'll see how he does, you guys. Oh, we'll move this because this is raw chicken. All right, so you're going to follow me, okay? So I'll give you a tomato. Don't push it all the way too because we want it to sit kind of at the bottom, okay?
Mama, we're going to put it in the green part.
Yep. All right, so you do a little piece of tomato. Got it? Little tomato. Perfect. Then you do the basil leaf.
Ooh, basil leaf.
Yep. And then you do a cheese.
What is this kind of cheese?
That's like a string cheese. It's the type of cheese it is.
What?
And then you do a piece of chicken.
2 of the layers on.
Perfect. And get a little bit more of the stick and stab the chicken. There you go. Do you want me to show them? Yep, we lost 1 cheese, but 4-year-old can even help put your appetizer together. Looks beautiful, buddy.
Thank you.
You did a good job. Okay, so, sorry, I ate the cheese that he dropped. So that's how those go. Dean, we're not going to use teriyaki sauce, but we do have our balsamic glaze. So, I would say if they don't stand up, no big deal. I think people will still grab them off the plate, and even if so, when they're laying flat, you can see all the yummy ingredients that's on them, where maybe if they were standing up, you can't see all that good stuff. So I don't think it's a huge problem if they don't stand up. Nice and simple, you guys. He is such a good helper. Everybody said, good job, buddy. You did a really good job.
I want to help with everything.
Well, I need you to make some more while I put some M&Ms on our dessert. Can you do that? Okay, here are all your sticks.
Thank you.
Here are your tomatoes.
Thank you.
Here's your cheese.
Thank you.
And your chicken.
Thank you.
And your leaves.
Thank you.
So, we'll see how he does, you guys, while we get out. So, just do a couple with the leaves. We'll see if my dogs eat that or not. Dropped a basil leaf and they're both looking at it and seeing if they want it. So I'm going to give you a couple of leaves, and then you can do a couple without leaves, okay? Okay. So we'll see how he does on the rest of those, you guys. I gave him all the ingredients, and he's going to keep going. He's doing good so far. Don't forget your cheese. You're going out of order, buddy. You got to make sure that your chicken is the bottom, okay? I don't care which way you do your lettuce or your tomato or your cheese, but your chicken always has to be on the bottom, okay?
Okay.
All right, you guys. So, what? Okay, thank you. I don't know what my 2-year-old is yelling about. Yes, you guys, they smell really good. They're so fresh and yummy. And we have our balsamic glaze if anybody would want it. So now we are going to take out our earlier recipe. So here is our earlier recipe. This is our dessert. I'm going to wash my hands because they have chicken and mozzarella on them. And then we're going to find a dish and we're going to pour our M&Ms into the dish. And then we will roll it and get those M&Ms stuck on there. And then we will try it with, I gotta make sure I take a picture of it first. So you guys don't let me eat it without taking a picture of it first, okay? So we're gonna find just a little dish. And we're gonna take our M&Ms. And if you want this recipe from earlier, it was just a show I did earlier today, so if you want to check that out, that is just the recipe right before this one.
I want to eat one.
Yep, you're doing so good. You're going to earn it. Mommy's got to roll it in the M&Ms first, okay?
Okay.
So, it's not super, super solid. I would say I might tell you to stick it in the freezer. But we will see how this goes. So it says to roll it in the M&Ms, but it's super sticky.
Mama, I'm done.
Good job. You want to do more or that's it?
I'm done.
Okay, I will show them what you did. So, Kingston did a couple more for us. How did they look, you guys? Super yummy. Like I said, I made so many of them. What I'm probably going to do is stick my chicken in a little Tupperware and just save the ingredients, and then when my husband comes home tomorrow, I'll serve some up for him and my brother and stuff. Because I don't want them to go to waste, but I know the boys and I won't be able to eat that many on top of our what's it called? Our little sliders that we're making for dinner tonight. You're messy, go wash your hands. So I'm just kind of picking them up and sticking them on here. It definitely does not.
I'm happy with a lot of things.
Yeah? Okay. We got to make sure we take a picture of this and then we can try it. So I'm just kind of rotating it around and sticking M&Ms where we need them. The recipe just said to roll it and let the M&Ms stick to it, but obviously that's in a perfect world, and my kitchen is far from a perfect world. So I'm just kind of picking and sticking them on where there is blank spots. Like I said earlier, when I did this recipe, they do recommend that you don't put the M&Ms on until right before you serve it, because the color of the M&Ms will...
Mommy, see one spot that needs the M&M.
Okay. They said the color of the M&Ms will start to What, Grayson?
Mommy,
We'll start to dye the cream cheese thing. Yep, I heard you. You're going to help me. Thank you. Go wash your hands. You have to wash your hands.
Okay.
You got chicken all over them.
Just
So there we go,
wait
you guys.
for me. Wait for me.
Okay, you got it. So this is definitely not... Grayson, stop. No. I don't know why he is yelling at me, you guys, but I don't like it.
Not coming to you.
Okay. So, not perfect, not beautiful, but it will do. You guys see my bottom is a little flatter, so I will stick it on a serving dish like this. And then I will take a picture of it, and then we will try it, and I will let you guys know how it is, if it's good or bad. It is homemade. It is special homemade. I hope that these are good recipes for you guys. They're fun to do with the kids. Like you saw, my 4-year-old helped make the skewers, so it's something you can do with your kiddos if you have them, or teenagers if they want to help, or you want them to help you. Serve this with apple slices or pretzels. They say anything lightly salted, any chips or anything like that. I'm going to try pretzels and apple slices. And, ooh, you've been outside, Charity. I am glad you are outside enjoying your warm day. It is not warm here. It feels like 9 degrees, but it's like 23. So we have not had a warm day. So I will take a picture of this and I will post it. And then I will be back on at let's say 6 o'clock. I'll be back on at 6 to make our sliders. So I'm super excited for that. And we will do our giveaway tonight too. So have an awesome couple of hours, and then I will see you guys back here for our sliders and our giveaways. So invite everybody to come watch me at 6 o'clock so that we can get a lot of giveaways going. And yes, this is made with love. You guys, it's got apples and caramel and cream cheese and yogurt, and it's going to be so good. Have an awesome couple of hours, and I will see you guys back here at 6. Bye.